look at the Elint app. Open up a browser on your phone. In the browser address, type in app.elint.co.za/mobile/ and enter. Your login screen that you use to enter the Elint platform is the same for your app. You can enter your login and then enter, and you will see the screen that I have opened in front of you. To ensure that you can open your app easily, I suggest you create a shortcut to your home screen from your phone. So the first thing we're going to have a look at is if you have multiple sites, you will have to select the site that you're going to work in. So you just click on the drop down, select your site, and then the site name will appear in this bar. Make sure you're working on the correct site if you have multiple sites to work on. The app can do a few things, but the main reason for the app is to capture and record information. Your continual improvement is the first section we're going to have a look at. And here we record any incident or event that happens on site that needs to be investigated. The first thing we're going to do is select a time. You can select the time by just scrolling down and up and down on the arrows. The next thing is we're going to make sure that we have the correct date selected. Then we're going to select an area. This area is normally selection is set up by your administrator. The job number section, you can leave open if you don't have a specific job number allocated to this specific site or event. It's not compulsory as there's no red star next to the job number. What happened? Let's say worker slipped and fell, causing injury to knee. The immediate action we took was first aid administered. And then we're going to select one of our selections. Again, this drop-down will be customized for your specific area by your administrator. You can also choose to put in a picture if you want to. If you have taken a picture of the actual incident, you can add that, and you can add multiple pictures and multiple files. And then you submit. You will see there's a green bar that says improvement report successfully submitted. That means if we go to our actual site, the administrator will receive this incident via email, and it's immediately available for them to start working on the investigation and addressing the problem. To navigate back to your home screen from your app, you click on the three bars on your top right corner. You will see you've got the different modules is listed in the words, but if you click on home, it gives you the actual blocks again, like we have seen before. The next one we're going to have a look at is checklists. You will notice that on checklist, we've got complete checklist and we've got view checklist. First, we're going to complete a checklist. Click on complete. I select a specific checklist I want to do. This block will come up if you have a management measure assigned to a specific checklist. You can also have multiple management measures assigned to a checklist, so make sure you select the correct one that you are going to address. and then submit. Now I can complete my checklist. By clicking the block and creating a correction mark, does not mean yes, this is correct. It means yes, I have read the actual question and I've actioned it. Meaning it says here project name. So I'm going to give it a project name and I'm saying I have done this. The next question, it says here ladder identified, list ladder, you check. So I'm checking ladder ABC. The next one says ladder rating label is intact and easy to read. Yes, I'm actioning this question, but now I have a problem. I can say no label on ladder. And this is how you continue the rest of your checklist. However, if you do find where you have said that there's something wrong, you can add a picture if you want to. You can take a photograph directly from your phone, or you can just type in what was wrong. But then you need to let us know by raising a task. We can also raise a continual improvement, but we don't want to because we don't need an investigation to be done. Continual improvement is only selected when we need an actual investigation that needs to be done. Anything else where there's a problem that needs to be fixed will be raised as a task. Now, for ease of reference, I'm just going to tick the rest of the checklist off, assuming everything else is in place and correct. Okay, I can also make a general note if I want to. So I'm just going to say test for app, and then you can save it. If you save a checklist and you did not submit it, it means you can go back to your checklist and continue to work on the checklist. It will color it in a different color so that it's easy to see when you open your app and you know you're still working on that checklist. The checklist will only be seen as accepted once you submitted it. So your management measure will only mark off once you submit, and it will only be seen as completed and done once you submit it. So now we're going to submit the checklist. We get a block that says sign in this block below. Here we created a signature that you can sign with your finger on your phone. You can go back to your checklist if you want to correct anything, but then you have to submit again. You can also, if I sign it and I find my signature is a little skew, I can clear it and I can re-sign it. You can skip the checklist or the signature. I do not recommend that you skip it, but some companies don't want to force people to sign, so they do have the skip functionality. And then once you click on done, it will give you a block saying that you've successfully completed this checklist. And you can click OK. The checklist is now available on the platform as well as on your app. So if we go to view checklist, you can see I've done the ladder inspection. It was completed by me and it tells me the date and time it was completed. If I click on view, it opens a PDF of the actual checklist we have completed. It also gives us the task number that was raised, that was created. And this task that was created is already sent through to our administrators so that they can fix the problem that was raised. So let's continue. Go back to our home screen. We've done continual improvement, logging and investigation. We've done a checklist, completing a checklist, and in the checklist, we logged a task which needs to be rectified, and we can also view the checklist that we've completed. So if you have an inspection from an inspector on site, you can open your completed checklist for him so that he or she can verify those checklists have been done. Just one thing that I do want to show you as well is you can do a word search, you can do a filter on specific checklists, and you can do a filter on specific users if you have multiple checklists that you do on site and you need to show an inspector a specific checklist. So if we go back to home, the next thing we've got is tasks. So we can also raise a task on the system. So say for instance, we had a windy day and all our barricades have blown out of the barricading. So we can raise a task to correct that, for instance. So the task name is barricading. We can say it's a maintenance issue. Again, your drop downs will be customized by your administrator. You can assign it to a person that's got access to Elint to go and fix it. You can give it a priority and you can give it a date by when you want it done, and then save it. Once this is saved, you'll see you get a message, new task successfully created. Again, the task will be sent out to the administrator that will receive an email, and in that email, they can then address the task which is on the platform as well. Let's go back to home. The next functionality is our risk assessment. And as with our checklist, we've got two options here. We've got one to complete the risk assessment, and we have another option to view the completed risk assessments. And again, this is for records that you need to show an inspector coming onto site. So if we complete a risk assessment, you will see we've got a section that says select template. We have multiple templates in Elint that you can select from and then complete. So I'm just going to do the first one, the name of my risk assessment. Let's call it okay. Activity is use of ladders. My task is painting from a ladder. My hazard is heights. My risk is falls causing injuries. And my current control is a ladder inspection. Ladder inspector. And we can say maybe training. And then, as with any other risk matrix, we've got a severity and a likelihood. So my severity meaning how bad will an accident be if somebody does get injured here? We're going to say it's going to be average because it's ladder. And we're going to say what is the likelihood that somebody can get injured here? And we're going to say it's high. And then submit. Before I submit, I can add another activity to this specific name, working at height. So we can say use of ladders. Let's say the task is drilling holes using a ladder. So we're working with power tools when we use the ladder. The hazard Okay, current controls is again inspections, emergency shut off for our tools, and we can say training and maybe supervision. Again, severity can be higher because now we have a tool that's involved, and we can say the likelihood is also high. If I submit this, I will be able to see the risk assessment that I've just done. So here's my risk assessment that I've just done, and you can see it is a high risk because that's my matrix that I've used. You will also see I have done a few other risks, so the color will change if you go below if you go below 70, and if you go below 40, it will be green. This risk assessment is now also available in the Elint platform, and if you need to do a review of your risk assessment, add additional controls, you can actually change the baseline. The baseline will stay the same, and you can change the residual rating to a lower rating, but that's done in the platform, not in the app. So if we just go back to the home screen, you will see we also have a tab here that says View Risk Assessment. If I click on that, I will see exactly the same screen which we have ended up when I saved or submitted the risk assessment. You can also select the different risk assessments that you have done, the different templates you might have used. You can see we didn't do a risk assessment for that specific template. What will come in the near future as well is when you do complete this risk assessment, there will be another tab for your DSTIs to be completed on a daily basis here. Go back to home. The last tab that we have is documents. In this section, again, as we have with the other sections, we can view the actual documents that we have on our platform. This is specifically important for construction sites, where construction sites will need to show that they have a health and safety file on site. The legislation does not specify that the health and safety file needs to be a printed copy, and it is accepted by the Department of Labour to open a health and safety file via the platform. We have been audited, we have done numerous inspections with the Department of Labour, and they have accepted the way Elint works in this regard. So again, you click on documents, and then it will open the specific folders that you have for your site, and it will open a document. As you click on the folders and open a document, it will open the document in the format it's actually saved on your phone. So you can open it, and then you can also send that specific document to the Department of Labour via email if they do request the information via email, which they currently do every time they do a site inspection. Now, to navigate through your section and the documents, to go back, do not click back on your phone. It will kick you out. Rather click on the wording to go back to the previous folders if you want to. You can also use the filters to filter specific elements of your documentation. Don't think we have that section. Let's just see if we filter it. Okay, so it says got no documents found, but if you filter, your filters will also help you to navigate through your file. And that is our conclusion of the app. If you want to leave your app, you can log out, and it will take you to the login screen. And remember, please create a shortcut for Elint to your home screen, because Elint does not have an app that you can download from any Play Store or iTunes. Elint is a web-based app, and you access it through a browser. Thank you.